It's not Bitcoin, but there is a new digital currency being tested in Toronto. MintChip. It's not an ice cream. It was created by the Royal Canadian Mint and holds the value of $1 Canadian. I spoke with Laurence Cooke, founder and CEO of nanoPay, which acquired the technology late last year.
MintChip is digital cash. It is the first incarnation of our transaction engine. Our transaction engine is designed to do a lot more than just digital cash. It's a direct asset transfer model where you can move anything of value from one person to another. So what is digital cash? Digital cash is basically a way of paying people, paying businesses, receiving payments, or requesting payments that requires no settlement. So it's always real time.
And this is digital cash, but it's not Bitcoin, which has its own kind of market-determined value. This is Canadian dollars in a digital form called MintChip. Is that the right way to think about it?
Absolutely. So for every MintChip Canadian dollar, there's a real Canadian dollar out there.
What are the origins of this? This actually came out of the Royal Mint before nanoPay came in and scooped it up. Talk to us a little bit about how this came into your hands.
Yeah, so the Royal Canadian Mint started the project and they wanted to see what they would have when cash disappeared. So, you know, the Royal Canadian Mint is in the coins business, and what happens when there are no more coins? The penny's gone. I guess other coins will go over time. So they started thinking about the future and what they would need to build then. And they hired Dr. David Everett, who's an expert in digital cash, to do this. And David Everett and his team built MintChip for the Royal Canadian Mint. And we still work with David Everett today. He's the godfather of digital cash.
And digital cash to some people might seem not that revolutionary because I don't really carry cash. You know, I've got my debit card, my Visa, so I'm already kind of cashless, as it were, but this kind of takes it one step further than that. Explain how that works.
Yeah, so because there's no settlement requirement, when you actually do a credit card transaction or a debit card transaction, it sets up a chain of events which creates risk between multiple different parties. So you have to pay your bank has to pay the other bank has to pay the merchant.
And fees are collected along the way.
And there's some tolls along the way. And, you know, it's a typical rent model. In our model, you're paying directly. So you're moving an asset directly from one entity to another entity, and that could be person to person, or that could be person to merchant.
So that's me and you transacting, and we've talked a lot about blockchain on this show, about how blockchain cuts out the middleman, but this is not blockchain.
This is correct. This is not blockchain.
And why is that?
Well, so blockchain has huge overheads. In fact, it has to have many different participants for it to work. It needs to run a consensus, which means that everything has to be online, and all the different parties in the consensus have to agree. In our environment, you can actually do an offline payment. You could never do an offline payment with blockchain.
So how are you making money in this?
Yeah, so there's no money in the consumer business, and we're offering the best merchant and retail rates of any payment system on the planet. So there's no money in it in P2P, there's no money in it in retail. There's a huge opportunity in business-to-business payments. And we'd be the first ISO 20022 capable platform that can do straight-through processing for businesses. And if you can imagine, for businesses, there's a huge overhead in reconciliation and trying to match everything in their bank account with invoices and all that, and that's onerous. That's onerous for a small business. That's crazy for a big business.
So take us through the traction that you've been getting in this business-to-business model. Who are the clients? Who's interested in doing this?
Yeah, so ultimately we have an open API and anyone could use the platform. Our clients today are banks in Canada, banks in the US, and large businesses. And we'll continue to work with them to bring it to the market.
What's the future look like?
I think the future is very exciting. You know, when we can eliminate settlement and eliminate risk and do a much securer, faster, cheaper payment, it's better for consumers who will get lower prices. It's better for businesses who will get paid in real time. And for business to businesses to have straight-through processing will fundamentally change their businesses.
What's been the traction like so far in terms of actual dollars moved back and forth?
Yeah, so we haven't disclosed any of the actual dollars, but...
You want to do it now?
No. You know, everything in the Liberty Village trial was really just to show off our platform and show how well our platform works. And the good news is not a single transaction has failed. So it's incredibly exciting. We only wanted a handful of users and a handful of merchants. We were massively oversubscribed compared to what we expected. So we got way more data than we expected. We got great feedback. I think, you know, digital cash has got a real future, but it's only a small part of the use cases that our platform can be used for.